69-year-old Arthur Lodge was lost. He spent his days wandering through the park, the same park he used to visit with his wife. His beloved wife had passed away a year ago. The memories of their time together haunted him, and he often found himself staring at her photograph, longing for her presence. The silence in their home was deafening. Loneliness gnawed at him, making each day feel like an eternity. The once lively house now felt like a hollow shell. One evening, scrolling through the internet, he stumbled upon an online dating platform. It was a moment of curiosity, a small spark in his otherwise monotonous routine. Arthur created a profile, honest about his age and recent loss. He hesitated at first, unsure if this was the right step, but he knew he needed to try something new. He wrote about his love for gardening, classical music, and his quiet life in the English countryside. These were the things that brought him peace and a sense of normalcy. He wasn't looking for anything intense, just someone to share his days with, a companion to talk to share a cup of tea, and to walk with in the garden. Then a message popped up, a breath of fresh air. It was unexpected and it made his heart skip a beat. Her name was Anita, vibrant and full of life. Her profile picture radiated warmth and her messages were filled with joy and enthusiasm. She shared stories of exotic locations and adventures that made Arthur's heart beat a little faster. Her tales of travel and exploration were like a window to a world he had never known. Hope, so delicate and fragile, began to bloom in Arthur's heart. For the first time in a long while, he felt a glimmer of happiness and the possibility of a new beginning. Their online conversations continued for weeks. Arthur and Anita messaged each other constantly, sharing details of their days, dreams, and fears. Anita painted a picture of a future together, filled with love and laughter. Arthur, starved for affection, found himself drawn deeper into her web. Then came the requests for money. Anita claimed she was in a bind, needing money for flights, equipment repairs, and medical emergencies. Each request was accompanied by a heart-wrenching story. Arthur ignored the alarm bells, dipping into his savings and taking out loans. He sent her money through various channels, convinced it was all real. He clung to the dream of Anita, unaware of the impending danger. The harsh reality of Arthur's situation hit him like a physical blow. He had emptied his bank accounts. His savings, painstakingly built over a lifetime, were gone. The weight of his debts pressed down on him. He had lost everything. He could no longer afford the mortgage payments, the bank foreclosed, and he was evicted. Arthur, once independent, found himself homeless at 69. He bounced between temporary accommodations, relying on the kindness of friends and family. The shame of his situation was a heavy burden. He had been a fool, manipulated by a skilled con artist. All that remained were the haunting memories of his wife and the crushing weight of his mistakes. Arthur felt utterly abandoned by the institutions he had trusted with his life savings. He had been a loyal customer of Halifax and Charter Savings Bank for decades. Yet when he needed them the most, they turned their backs on him. He approached both banks, desperate for help. He explained how he had been the victim of a sophisticated scam. The bank's responses were cold and impersonal. They claimed no liability, arguing that Arthur had authorized the transactions himself. Their words felt like salt rubbed into his wounds. He was left to pick up the pieces of his shattered life, alone and lost. The financial ruin was devastating, but the emotional toll truly broke Arthur. It was as if the ground had been pulled out from under him, leaving him in a free fall of despair. The realization that Anita was a scammer was almost too much to bear. The woman he had trusted, the one he had shared his dreams and fears with, had been deceiving him all along. The man who had once been so full of life retreated into himself. His laughter, once a common sound, was now a distant memory, replaced by a haunting silence. Shame and self-reproach gnawed at him. He replayed every moment, every decision, wondering how he could have been so blind. He had always considered himself intelligent, not someone who would fall prey to such a scam. His pride had been shattered, leaving him questioning his own judgment. Yet there he was, living proof that anyone could be a victim. The world felt like a cruel place where trust was a liability. He had lost his wife, his home, his savings, and now his sense of self. The memories of happier times only deepened his sorrow. He withdrew from social interactions, afraid of their pity and judgment. The isolation was suffocating, but he couldn't bear the thought of facing the world. He was trapped in a cycle of despair, haunted by what-ifs and regrets. Every decision seemed to lead him further into a maze of hopelessness. The weight of his mistakes pressed down on him, threatening to crush him completely. It was a relentless burden, one that he feared he might never escape. Arthur's tragic story is not unique. He's one of thousands who fall victim to romance scams each year. These scams, fueled by the anonymity of the internet, are on the rise. According to Action Fraud, romance scams are becoming increasingly common, with victims losing millions each year. The emotional impact can be devastating, leaving victims feeling betrayed and financially ruined. This is why it is crucial to raise awareness about romance scams and encourage victims to come forward. Action Fraud plays a vital role in combating romance scams and supporting victims. They are the UK's National Reporting Centre for Fraud and Cybercrime, providing a crucial service to those who have fallen prey to online deceit. They offer crucial advice on how to protect yourself from becoming a victim of these scams. Their website is filled with resources and tips to help you stay safe online. Be wary of individuals you meet online. Scammers often create fake profiles to lure you in, so always be cautious and skeptical of too-good-to-be-true scenarios. Take your time getting to know someone. Genuine relationships develop over time, and rushing can lead to poor judgment and vulnerability. Don't rush into sharing personal information or making commitments. Scammers often push for quick intimacy to exploit your trust. Be skeptical of requests for money. Scammers frequently fabricate emergencies or sob stories to manipulate you into sending funds. Never send money to someone you've never met in person. This is a common tactic used by scammers to exploit your emotions and financial resources. Don't be afraid to ask questions and verify their identity. Genuine individuals will understand your need for caution and transparency. Talk to someone you trust about your online relationships. Getting a second opinion can provide valuable perspective and help you spot red flags. If you think you've been scammed, report it to Action Fraud and your bank immediately. Prompt action can help mitigate the damage and prevent further loss. By staying vigilant and cautious, you can protect yourself and your loved ones from becoming victims of romance scams. Remember, knowledge and awareness are your best defenses against online fraud.